It's no secret that some pieces of writing are snappy and engaging to read, while others feel awkward and flat. But what explains the difference? Today we'll be looking at one often overlooked factor that goes into good writing: strong sentence endings. That is, do the sentences in a piece of writing consistently end on strong words? To be clear, strong words doesn't necessarily mean emotionally loaded words, but simply words that capture something crucial to the meaning of the sentence. For instance, consider the following sentence: I've never seen a tree that wasn't beautiful. Notice that up till the final word, readers aren't quite sure where the sentence will end up. I've never seen a tree that wasn't blank. At this point, what follows could be anything. In this way, the sentence naturally builds up to a conclusion, and the beautiful at the end ties everything together, almost like a crescendo. And I find it's largely this that makes the sentence memorable. Now contrast that sentence with this one. Trees can be categorized as beautiful or not, but all the trees I've seen have been in the former of the two categories. The ending of this sentence is a wet rag. The language here is blander, wordier, and more abstract. As a result, the sentence feels much more forgettable. What's more, in ending with the former of the two categories, the sentence risks forcing readers who have already forgotten just what that refers to go back and check. And forcing readers to go back to the beginning of the sentence to make sure they understood is never a strong way of ending a sentence. So far, we've been looking only at two versions of one example sentence. If the difference a strong ending makes is clear even in this one case, it becomes yet more pronounced when you have several sentences back to back. Let's look then at some slightly longer pieces of writing with strong sentence endings. First, consider the following short paragraph. More than any other species, human beings are gifted with the power to manipulate their environment and the ability to accumulate and transmit knowledge across generations. The first of these gifts we call technology. The other we call culture. They are central to our humanity. Now, this is a simple paragraph, but it's quite effective. Notice how natural and engaging the writing feels. And the writing feels this way largely because of its well-chosen sentence endings. The first sentence's ending word, generations, nicely echoes the grandeur of human achievement that the sentence is trying to evoke. The next sentence, in a way, has two endings, in that it consists of two independent clauses separated by a semicolon. Let's consider the two endings of these clauses together. Note that each clause ends by giving a quick, helpful label to the human abilities introduced in the previous sentence. These labels both clarify the author's meaning and help focus the discussion that follows. Meanwhile, the ending of the last sentence, humanity, emphasizes that the book's subject is nothing less than humanity itself. The endings of the previous sentences have been words with a very broad focus, words like generations, technology, and culture. And the ending word of this last sentence, humanity, is the broadest of all. In that way, it's a nice culmination of the pattern set by the previous sentences. Now let's imagine what this paragraph might look like without strong sentence endings. More than any other species, human beings are gifted with the power to manipulate their environment and the ability to accumulate and transmit knowledge about lots of different people, places, things, etc. The first of these gifts is technology, whereas culture is the other one. They are central to our humanity, as would be doubted by no one with a brain in their head. I'll be blunt, this was painful to read. The paragraph has been butchered. For instance, the first sentence no longer ends on a strong word, like generations, but instead peters out in etc. The previous ending, generations, nicely and briefly echoed the grandeur of human achievement. This new ending, by contrast, is not only wordier, but comes across as a needless diversion into a cliché taxonomy. The second sentence, meanwhile, has lost its parallel structure. Whereas technology and culture each used to come at the end of their respective clauses, now they are at different places. And concluding the sentence with the other one, rather than simply culture, makes for a weaker sounding ending in its own right. And the final sentence is perhaps the worst of all. As would be doubted by no one with a brain in their head, is not only cliché, but deeply at odds with the tone of the rest of the paragraph. The result of all this is that the paragraph reads like an awkward, jumbled mess. And remember, we've made it this way just by changing the sentence endings. I hope that this exercise has emphasized the value of well-chosen sentence endings. If you consistently end your sentences on strong words, words that capture something important to the meaning of the sentence, your writing will be much better. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back again to help you avoid more paper pitfalls.